Good morning, my dear students. I hope you all are doing well. I am your English teacher, Mrs. Nahed. I welcome you all to Pakistan International School's e-learning program. The topic for our today's class is how to write an informal letter. My dear students, while attending the class, you should be fully attentive and devoted, ready with book and notebook. Note down important points during lectures. And write all the given tasks in the notebook. Complete homework and assignment timely, because a record will be maintained. And the students will have to submit all the work once they rejoin school. My dear students, in this lesson you will learn identification of different parts of an informal letter and how to write it correctly. My dear students, before we begin with our today's lesson, let us have a look at the topics we have covered so far. In the previous class, we learned what a letter is, what different parts of a letter are, different styles of letter writing, types of letter, important points and strategies to write a good letter. Let us get started with today's lesson. My dear students, I remind you informal letters are written to close acquaintances of the writer, their friends, family, relatives, etc. Since they are written to close relations, the letters have an informal and personal tone. Casual language is used while writing informal letters. And sometimes the letters may even have an emotional undertone. Informal letters are mainly used for personal communication. Generally, they do not have to follow any specific pattern, format or conventions. But, my dear students, since our examination body is Federal Board Islamabad, so we use block letter format for writing both informal and formal letters. This is an image showing you the block letter pattern prescribed by Federal Board of Intermediate and Secondary Education. In block format, the entire text is left aligned and single-spaced. My dear students, now I show you step by step how to write an informal letter. The first thing to write is your address, that is the address of the writer. We usually write the address on the left-hand side of the page at the very top. The address should be accurate and complete. Even when writing to close friends or relatives, the address must be written, so they can reply back to the letter with ease. If the recipient of the letter is in another country, do not forget to write your country as well in the address. Next, just below the address we write the date. This allows the reader to have a reference as to when the address was written. He can then relate better to the contents of the letter. Since in board examinations students are asked not to disclose personal address, so you are required to examination hall city ABC. My dear students, kindly remember, your use of punctuation marks and capitalization in this particular part is very important. So note and remember where to use which punctuation marks. Now, since you know the person you are writing to, the greeting can be informal as well. If it is a friend or someone close to your age, you can greet them by their first name, like Dear Zachariah. If you are writing to your relative like your mother/father/aunt/uncle, etc., you may greet them as such, for example, Dear Mom. And if you are writing to an elder person, someone you respect greatly, you can address them as Mr. or Mrs. Like, say for example, you were writing a congratulatory letter to your teacher, it can be addressed as Dear Mrs. Nahed. And now we begin writing the actual letter. The introductory paragraph sets the tone for the whole letter. You might begin by asking the recipient about their well-being. Or you may say that you hope the letter finds them in good health and great spirits. The opening of informal letters should be casual and comforting. The letter overall should maintain a friendly tone. But you have to adjust the language and the wordings according to who you are writing to. With a friend, you can afford to be very casual and flippant even. But if you are writing to an elder relative, you must be extremely respectful and considerate. One way to determine the tonality of your letter is to remember how you talk to the person in a conversation. And then apply the same syntax and sentiments to the letter. In the conclusive paragraph, sum up the reason for writing the letter, that is, summarize the letter. Say a meaningful and affectionate goodbye to the reader. And do not forget to invite the reader to write back or reply to your letter. It shows an intention to keep the conversation going. There is no one way to sign off informal letters. Some commonly used phrases are: yours affectionately, yours truly, lots of love, best wishes, kind regards, kindly. The use of these phrases depends on the relation you have with the person you are writing your letter to. In the end, while signing off, instead of writing a real name, we write capital YXZ. My dear students, our lesson for today is complete. I hope this video helped you understand how to write an informal letter. With this, we have come to an end of our today's lesson. Thank you for being attentive. Goodbye.